Karen from Countyfairgrounds USA, countyfairgrounds.net. Welcome to today's podcast.
And with me on the line today, we have Drew Bankston, who is a fair vendor and an author. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your company, Drew?
I would love to. Thank you, Karen. Scentual Products is a skincare company. It's all natural, based out of northern Colorado. We make lip balms, candles, lotions, soaps, and such. Again, it's all natural, and we create it right here. As an author, I create mostly science fiction novels, but I do have a few nonfiction novels as well.
Okay, do you want to tell me how long you've been a vendor?
I've been a vendor probably 7 years now.
Okay, and how did you get started in this?
Well, that's an interesting story. I used to actually attend conventions and different creative craft shows, farmers markets and such, and seeing the different vendors that were there and having that face-to-face experience, I thought was just wonderful. And so I took the opportunity to apply to some of these craft shows and conventions and start selling my products there.
And why this particular product? I mean, it's kind of an unusual product, I would think, for a guy to sell.
Well, skincare is important, as you get older, and of course, I'm getting a little bit older myself. Your skin starts to dry out, and it doesn't retain the moisture that it used to. But the way this all started was my wife couldn't find an all-natural lip balm that wouldn't either leave oil on her lips or wax, and she wanted something that wasn't greasy and wasn't waxy. And I studied chemistry in college, and so I told her, maybe I can come up with something. And I took a basic lip balm formula, and I started changing it a little bit, researching how oils and butters affect the skin. And after about 3 months of trial and error, with my giving her this lip balm and that lip balm, and her saying, well, not quite, or no, this isn't right. Finally, one day she tried it on her lips, and she said, oh, this is perfect. And so I made a batch. And she gave a few to friends who decided, wow, this is really good. Can you get us some more of this? And before you knew it, I was making more and more lip balm, and I branched out into lotions and soaps and all sorts of fun stuff.
So what was the first fair that you did? Do you remember?
The first fair? Oh, gosh. Well, that was actually when I was an author, and it was a Starfest Star Trek convention in Denver, and I started selling some of my books there. My first skincare convention that I did, or I think was over here in Greeley. It was now I got to think. One of the newspapers did 3 a year, and it was a Christmas one. And so I applied for that, and they said, sure, come on in. We had our lip balms out and some of our soaps, and it was thrilling to me to have people come by and try the samples and just fall in love with what we had and have that face-to-face contact with people.
Okay. Well, you're not having too much face-to-face contact right now, are you?
No, that's very true. It's this virus has pretty much put a kibosh on getting out there and having that face-to-face contact. I can't even, give people samples now because obviously you can't touch it and then have somebody else touch it like we used to, or use the sample paddles. People just don't feel comfortable with that, and so it's really put a dent in some of our income as far as being able to get out there. Not only that, but it's also affected, our morale just a little bit, because we can't get out there. We can't have that face-to-face contact with people, and that's really what I enjoyed.
Okay. So are you surviving, Drew?
I am surviving. You know, I try to think outside the box all the time. I did have to get a full-time job, but as far as our products, I put my books on Amazon, and recently Walmart contacted me and asked me to be a seller partner with them for our skincare products. And so we're on Walmart.com, as well as my own website, ScentualProducts.com. And although it's not anything like we used to do at the shows, the craft fairs, it is bringing in some income.
I would take it that you miss the fairs.
I do. I miss the fairs a lot, and I'll be really glad, as they're saying, you know, we've got hopefully a vaccine coming out for this, and I'm hoping that millions and millions of people will take advantage of that vaccine, and that we can get back to business, going to the different fairs and conventions and craft shows and farmers markets, and just really getting that interaction again.
Well, you know, you tell a rather unusual story about coming up with an idea for your own product, although I guess there's a lot of vendors that do that. A lot of the vendors are really, really, really hurting right now, and I would like to do anything I could possibly do to help them, so I've been trying. So do you have any advice for any of the vendors?
You know, go to Facebook and look for sites like yours, where I think a lot of vendors are giving advice and saying, you know, just, you know, try this or try that. I know a lot of the conventions and the craft fairs are trying to do virtual shows right now, and I'm getting ready to try one here at the end of the month to see how that works. But I would just say, you know, continue to think outside the box, continue to get out there and look for some of these shows that they're still trying to do some of these shows, and the outside shows seem to be a little more successful than the inside shows, although right now we're getting into the winter months, you know, and here in Colorado, it tends to get a little bit cooler. And so sitting in a chair and watching people walk by and they're just freezing and they're in their coats and is not the most ideal thing. But yeah, think outside the box. Try to find some other way to get your products out there and make some income, and you know, keep sending positive waves of thoughts out there, and hopefully here within the next month or so, we'll be able to get these shows and conventions back on track.
I think it's going to take a little longer than that, but you're an optimist. So does your wife sell with you?
She does. She comes to the shows and she'll sit at the table with me. I find that having a female there with all the lip care and skin care stuff does help the sales. And she also makes some of the soaps and the shaving soaps and what have you with me. And so she's a little bit more knowledgeable about that than I am. But I'm more knowledgeable about the candles and the lip balms and some of the other products we have. But having two people there, because we do get a lot of people that come up, and so having a second person there that can also talk to our prospective clients makes it real nice.
So is it just the two of you? Do you have any children?
I do have 5 children. Sometimes my young daughter, they're all grown and out of the house. My wife and I have been married 30 years, and so you know, our kids are a little bit older. My youngest daughter is 19, and she enjoys coming with me to a lot of our craft shows and things. She enjoys the hustle and the bustle and the face-to-face interaction just like I do, and so she'll come and help from time to time as well.
So if you had your choice right now of how to make money any way that you wanted, out of all the things you do, what do you think is your best way to make money, and which one do you enjoy the most?
Well, now that's an interesting question. I don't think anybody's ever really asked me that. But I think it would definitely be the skincare products, and then second would be my authoring. I love writing stories, but I also like creating these physical things for people, things that help people, things that, you know, can make your skin softer, can make your lips, as we say, kissably soft. You know, I love the creating and putting in the different essential oils and coming up with different blends so that people can say, wow, this is one of the best things I've ever found, you know. But creating is definitely my forte. And instead of being out at my 9-to-5 job, or as you found out, sometimes 11 to 7:30 job, I'd rather be creating and making money that way.
Okay, so do you have anything booked that's coming up?
I really don't. Except like I said, I have the virtual show that's coming up. It's actually based out of Boulder, and it's with one of the local community places down there. I can't think of the name right off, but we'll try the virtual and see how that works.
Well, good luck, Drew, and good luck to all the vendors. And gee, I hope things get better for you.
Oh, I do too, and all the vendors out there, you know, keep your chin up and keep creating. And before you know it, I think we'll be back into the normal.
I hope so. Thank you, Drew. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Karen. I really appreciate the interview, and good luck.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.